we're going to go ahead and get started with this webinar about weekend experiences for troops. If you're not here for the webinar on weekend experiences for troops, then you are in the wrong meeting. But we'd love to have you stay. Webinar sounds like a hairy, big word. This is going to be about a 20-minute presentation and then about 15 minutes for Q&A. This is my personal Zoom account, which does not have any special properties. So our meeting will be 40 minutes in length and no longer. It just so happened that all the other council accounts were being used tonight, which is great. It's good news for scouting. We're having lots of meetings. I'm going to go ahead and share screen and bring up our most current weekend experience flyer that you should be able to see right here on your screen. This is a grand total 6-page document. The first 3 pages are for Cubs. The last 3 pages are for Scout troops. We have upgraded and expanded our weekend experience offerings. But before I get too much into it, I just want to talk about what weekend experiences is. We use our summer camp heavily in June and July. We use our facility other times during the year for some big events, whether it's a camporee or Creepy Hollow or a training event for adult volunteers. And we have our short-term camping area, Douglas Fleet, that gets used a lot by Scout troops. But what we're not using very often, at least not until we rolled out weekend experiences, we weren't using our program areas. We weren't using our rifle range. We weren't doing things that, we have Scout Camp for. And so one of the concepts of this weekend experience program is a Scout troop can come out and on a Saturday have a catered experience at camp tailored to what they want. Program offerings that they want and can sign up for and have kind of an exclusive one for that Saturday. We know a lot of troops are going to come out on Friday night and camp and also camp on Saturday night and leave on Sunday. Well, on Saturday, we're offering a la carte programs for reasonable prices for our Scout troops to participate in. And so you can see on your screen some of the things that we are offering for you. So first off, we have aquatics. And so we have Scout troops that want to come out and rent sailboats, use our canoes, paddle boards, kayaks, rowboats, or swim at Lake Dillon. And all of that and more can be yours if you so choose. We also are allowing Scout troops to come out and use our rifle range, our shotgun range, our archery range. Now, all of that, we require some adult supervision and trained people to deliver the programs. Same with our climbing and rappelling area and our COPE course. We've got to have people that meet BSA requirements to run those areas. Some troops have those people. Some troops do not. Especially for our shooting sports and our COPE and climbing areas, in most cases, we're going to have someone who has that training come out and open that course for you. And so if those folks are needed, then that is something we can provide. It does cost. Typically, having someone come out and do that is going to be $50 for a half day. But we'll get a little more into that later. I'm going to let some other folks talk in just a few minutes. We also have fishing and science, technology, engineering, and math programs at our STEM Center, like our Lego robotics program that we can offer. On the next page, it kind of goes a little more in depth and shows you everything. We also do welding. Again, we've got to provide a person in most cases. We offer nature programmings. And so this page kind of gets a little more in depth into costs and what's involved in making this happen. I've got a couple of experts on the call. I've got Pam Mishakowski, our office manager, who handles a lot of our bookings. I've got Melissa Bartholomew on the call. She's our program associate at the council office, also handles bookings and has a specific focus on weekend experiences. And we've got John Allen, who is our council shooting sports committee chair, and he is the person typically who is lining up the manpower that's needed to deliver some of these programs for y'all out at camp. I'm going to turn over to Pam right now to talk about costs and how to reserve a weekend experience.
Good evening, everybody. Hope you guys are all doing well. So I'm Pam Mishakowski. I think many of you I have either met and talked to over the course of the time I've been at council. And so I just want to talk a little bit about the weekend experiences, how to sign up, and cost and what that all entails. So for a weekend experience, you could do it one of two ways. Now, right now, the best way to do that is to call either myself and Melissa. Our contact information is at the end of this brochure, and Bill will be sending this out to everybody along with the link to the video, tonight's video. So you'll have our information. So the best way to do that right now is to contact Melissa and myself. We're doing a revamp of the website. And because of that, the link to reserve right off the website is not available at this time, but it will be. And as soon as it is, we will share that link with everybody via Friday 5, the courier, and other communication ways to let you guys know that it's live and you can make your reservation that way. So sometimes I know, we've all used Blackpug probably in some form or fashion over the last couple of years. And if you do have any difficulty with making a reservation, we would love to help you. Sometimes also when we're making a reservation, something may look like it's already reserved, or there may be something going on out there. Melissa and I can quickly look at that and check into that and maybe make some modifications to make sure that you get the time that you want for your unit. Because we know everybody's schedules are crazy, and planning these events, and sometimes you can only be locked into one or two weekends that you have available for either a spring or a fall camp out. And we would love to help make that happen. And so if you're having any difficulties when you do the online registration, please reach out to us, and we'll see what we can work out. There's actually two parts, or there's some things that you need to decide with your weekend experience. The first one is, are we staying overnight or not? As Bill said, most of our units like to come out on a Friday evening. They do their activities on Saturday. Saturday evening, they do, s'mores and all that fun stuff, and then go home on Sunday. That's a typical weekend. You can come out just for the day too. You can do an activity in the morning and an activity in the afternoon. Families can pack lunch and come out for the day. But if you choose to camp, the camping fee is separate from the weekend experience fee. And as you can see now, the tent camping over on the Cub side is $3. Tent camping at Brady Saunders on the platforms is $5. Mountain cabins, yurts, and the Western forts, if you want covered camping, is $10. And then we always have fleet, which is still $2. So the camping is separate. So that's one of the big things you got to decide first. Am I coming out for the day? Am I coming out for the weekend? Then we get into the actual activities. And as Bill covered them, we're really excited because we've taken a look at all our activities and kind of revamped it a little bit to make sure that we have all of the proper equipment and staffing in place to offer these programs. And we're really excited about this and getting this information back out to everybody. As you can see, none of the experiences is, we start at $6 per scout. And what that includes varies. It's mostly all the materials, the equipment that you're going to need. And as Bill said, there is an extra charge for instructors. Now, every now and then we'll get a unit that has a archery certified individual in their unit, or also, range and target sports certified. If you have, or even the lifeguards, If you have individuals that fall into that category in your unit, that will help save you some money, and we'll be able to take that off of the invoice, or off your reservation. And then we just need a copy of their certification to go in with the file then. So that's all we would need there. And as Bill said, we kind of start you off and do the front end and do the initial planning. And then a week or so before your weekend out there, that's when John Allen comes in and finalizes all of the activities and lines everything up and asks any last minute questions if you have any last minute requests. So again, the best way to make a reservation right now is by calling us or emailing us. And we usually try to get back to you in the same day. And when the site goes live or the link goes live to make the reservations online, we'll let everybody know.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to Melissa to talk a little bit about her role in weekend experiences and she's got an interesting task ahead of her, and you may be hearing from her personally later. Melissa?
Thank you. So yes, I am going to be reaching out to the units to see if we can book a weekend experience for you guys. So we want you to be able to take this back to your troop committees and talk it over with your PLC. We will be sending out these flyers so you can go to your PLC and say, you know, this is an idea for you guys, and let them build their own weekends. As we all know, it should be scout led at that point with the troops. And so, you know, we as adults have the hand that helps guide them to safe activities. And this is a great way for them to be able to build the kind of dream experience that they would like to have out at Brady. But we also would like to know if you guys have any questions for us, because we would absolutely love to answer those for you.
Don't be bashful.
Melissa, this is Jim LeBrec.
Hey.
We did a weekend experience last year, and now that you've got this sheet, we may do one after when we go into 2025. Is it still possible to have the dinner or lunch thing like we did then?
So we would have to work that with the kitchen. It would just depend on the availability of one of the cooks. We can add on for that as well if there's availability.
So it's available if it's available. Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Yep.
Also, I brought the Egyptian troop out back at the end of summer camp, and I was hoping to get this. You said you're going to send this sheet out, so I wanted to be able to take it to them, because I'm still trying to get them to plan their calendars. Troop 2888, and so with this will help me with that task.
Yeah, we would absolutely love, and if they need somebody to come and speak to them from one of our team, we would absolutely make ways to have that happen.
Okay.
Melissa, tell us about, help me with this, because I can certainly talk to John, but tell me about the times. When you say morning and afternoon, how many hours are we talking about?
It's 3 hours.
3? Okay, thanks.
Yeah, typically the morning is going to be 9 to noon, and afternoon is 1 to 4. And that's actually a great thing we should put on this flyer. That would actually help it and make it a little bit easier. Literally, this is a work in progress. We were doing edits to this flyer today, and and I also, there's a couple of things on here that we'll adjust. There is no set time frame for swimming, because our swimming is in the lake at Lake Dillon, and it doesn't close. If y'all want to swim in December and do some polar bear stuff, rock on. We'll let you. We also
I may just come and laugh.
We're also going to add, this doesn't mention tent camping at Douglas Fleet, which is totally available. It is $3 at Douglas Fleet. So that is per camper per night. And then, we'll definitely add in the 3-hour time blocks, morning and afternoon. We typically are paying people who come out to run. If you need people to come out and run stuff for you, whether they're required or not, it's typically $50 per 3-hour block. So, for instance, let's say you don't have to have someone to run STEM programming, but maybe no one in your group is really familiar with Lego robotics, and you'd like to have an expert come out. We would reach out to local experts that we've got and schedule them to come out, and it'd be $50 for them to come out for that 3-hour session. The things where we have to have people are climbing and rappelling. We've got to have one of our trained climbing or COPE directors come out and open the tower or the COPE course for that. And then we've got to have folks for range and target sports. And again, those folks are typically coordinated. Once you sign up and tell us what you want and what kind of support you want, then it's our responsibility to find those people and have them on site. Other questions?
$50 times the number of staff you need to run sporting, Alan, John, more for that than archery.
I'm sorry, I don't understand your question.
Tell me about how. So you're going to have one in shooting sports. You're going to need to have a couple of leaders. Are you using our leaders to help you back you up there, or are you going to have? Is it going to be
if they are certified with the NRA in that particular firearm? Yes.
And
archery, I have to look at the new requirements. And I don't remember it ever saying that there has to be a range safety officer on the archery range, just an instructor. And that instructor has to be certified with U.S. Archery.
Thank you.
And when you guys would book with us, if you guys have your people who have specialties in those fields, we would just ask that they send their certification to John Allen.
Sure.
That way he can just make sure that it meets up with that. And then we're more than happy to take that cost off of your experience.
Okay. Thanks.
Now that being said, if you've got a trained instructor for rifles and a trained range safety officer, I'll come out, unlock the safe, let you run the range. I don't charge for me, but we don't give everybody keys and combinations to the safe.
Oh yeah, well I would probably require you to be there anyway. I think that'd be good to have somebody there anyway. So from your side, right, thanks for
the new rules coming out. You have to use our guns and shoot on our range.
Yep, I knew that. Yeah, and we, that's not a problem. We stopped using ours for the time being until we see what the new rules are anyway.
Now, if you want to donate them to us, and you can use them when you come up.
Yeah.
May I ask a question,
There's
please?
probably a deal to be made there, I suspect. So
Absolutely. Kimberly, your question?
So just to double check, if we're, for instance, using the STEM area, are there other materials that is geared towards besides robotics?
Yep.
Every activity in STEM has a crate. And in that crate is everything you need, including lesson plans to teach them a merit badge for everything we teach in STEM.
Good. Now, the benefit to doing this is, again, those crates or those prepackaged materials versus if we had a unit who, like my avid fisherman husband, had millions of fishing poles, maybe our route is more to book camping, but not maybe book fishing per scout.
Yeah.
Yep, it's totally accurate. If you guys have all the gear you need for fishing, then you don't need to book a weekend experience for that because you don't need our poles and our stuff. So, yep, that's exactly right. Other questions?
Bill, I was going to ask, this is Jim LeBrecq again. I was going to ask, this is the 3-hour cost. And so if you're doing it all day, it would double. That would be include fishing also.
That's right. But we wouldn't, again, we're going to work with y'all. So when you call and talk to us, talk to Pam or Melissa, I think we're going to have a, realistic conversation with y'all about those costs. We're not trying to gouge troops coming out to camp to do these things. We would probably encourage y'all to maybe select two. If you're coming out and you want to fish all day, we might say, why don't you divide your group in half and have a group that fishes in the morning, and then maybe a group that does STEM or boating or welding or, play sports. And then those groups switch. And then we would, run those costs in a way that would make the most sense for your group. I know that there's some scouts we've got who will fish all day and love it. And then probably about half our scouts would murder people rather than fish all day. So, yeah, we just probably wise to have some variety in that mix.
And another
No,
cool,
I agree, because when we did it, we did fishing and shooting. So
Yep.
that worked best for us.
and another cool thing is we do offer, just like we've talked about with the STEM program, it's not required fishing. We do have certified angler instructors who would be more than happy to come out. So if there is a group that is not quite sure on the water, and would like to have any of those CAIs coming out, we have a group of those that have been trained through the certified angler instructor program, that would be willing to come out. And they may even have, like, I know personally, I have this thing called Backyard Bass that helps teach scouts how to cast and set the hook. And, it may just be something like that I don't know what the other instructors have, but if they have those, they would be willing sometimes to bring out their own stuff for that.
One of the other areas I'd like to highlight too is the nature. With the introduction of the Albright Ecological Area, we have some great nature trails in that area now, and we're also creating areas for some farming that our units can do. And so, that's a great new addition to take advantage of and, see what they are doing with that area. And I know Eric Johnson has done some great things back there and would love to show it off to our units.
And also, one of the things we offer out at camp is we now have a permanent orienteering course. That is, right now we are not charging for, because we're also not providing anything. But in the orienteering course, all the information about it is on the council's website, maps you can download, cool stuff you can get there. And so right now, mainly because we haven't invested and created that box of materials to create a canned program for it, we are not charging a fee for orienteering in the orienteering course, but it's out there. And you can also participate in that. I would not do that as an all-day activity, just because it can be like fishing. You got to have some variety.
We did have a question in the chat about tent camping at Brady. Yes, camping at Brady is year round. During November through March, our water is cut off from the dam up into like the campsites, but you're absolutely welcome to camp up there if you choose to. Just know that you'd have to probably grab your water from down below, from like the admin building, the OA Pavilion, that area, and then take it up. And then you have to just use the pit latrines. But other than that, we are able to operate year round.
Yeah, during that time, the preferred area is Fleet.
All right.
Any other questions for us?
Bill, I also need about 2 weeks to put one of these things together to get people to do it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm hoping that y'all are, most scout troops, you've got a calendar, when you're going camping and roughly where you're going. So we would ask that you would give us time to line all this stuff up and make sure you've got a successful weekend experience. If you're calling us, 2 or 3 weeks before the event, that's a little tight. So we're asking for 4, I think, but we just the larger the time horizon you give us to make stuff happen, the better. But for a lot of this stuff, we have some bench depth. If you need, we've got 3 different people in our council who can open the tower and the coat course. And we also have access to some out of council folks who might could help if we needed that.
And that being said, if your group is has a cancellation because of, you know, weather elsewhere, if you were planning to go to the Outer Banks during September and a hurricane, you know, was coming that way and you decided to come up here, we would try to work with you guys and our instructors, or, you know, make sure we have the fishing available or something like that for you. So please don't hesitate if you're within that window, but just know that we kind of are limited on getting our instructors.
All right, other questions?
If I can follow a similar vein to that, once you book a weekend experience and we give you a rough idea of how many scouts are coming, at what point in advance do you need that final count, or can we not make any more adjustments?
So
I'll take your final count when you get out of the car.
So what we do is typically, you know, we want a rough estimate when you make your reservation. And we understand, I mean, I understand you always have those last minute scouts and everything. So if you have any adjustments that are made up until that day, as long as it's not, you're not adding like another 20, 30 scouts, we're fine. We can tweak it and make those up until, you know, the Friday you come out. As long as it's nothing that, you know, really skews your head count one way or the other.
We're also not providing y'all with, except in a few circumstances, we're not really providing y'all with dining services. So we're not usually having to come out of pocket on food and other things like that that are perishable. So, you know, ammo doesn't go bad. And so we're not super worried about those last minute things. This isn't like summer camp or Creepy Hollow. We're just going to charge you for who shows up.
Helpful, especially in today's environment. Very helpful.
We'd much rather have the success of y'all's programs than to gouge you guys and have it tank you. Because, you know, we all know, as we've all been part of troops and had teenagers in the troops, and the kids will commit and say, yeah, we're going and we're 25 strong. And then that weekend gets there and you're 5 strong.
Yeah,
So.
somehow scouts don't remember when prom is, or you know, all kinds of things pop up and wind up with less turnout than we expected. We understand that.
Yeah, we went from 8. We went from 8 this weekend, from 8 last week to 28.
Oh,
Not always pleasant.
Yeah.
We're okay. We're okay.
yeah.
It just turned into something we didn't anticipate. That's all.
No, and by giving us any advance notice that we can, it also helps us to reach out to our camp masters who can have an idea. So that way, if there's any tweaking, you know, Johnny Scout might be in campsite A1, but there's only one person, but there's 40 people that are trying to book in B or in A2. And then it gives us a chance to move people around if we need to as well.
Sure.
All right. Other questions for the good of the group? All right. I am going to adjourn our meeting then and give this, the Zoom has told me I have 7 minutes and 30 seconds left. So we're all going to get that back.
I was going to say,
do you have something else to say?
yes, just in case, if you want to scroll to the top of the chat, both my email and Pam's email are in the chat, as well as the office phone number. It goes directly to me and or Pam. So
Go back to the QR code before you hang up, would you? There you go. Thank you.
Absolutely. And like Pam mentioned, we are rolling out a new website at the end of this. It's not a new website, nothing, still going to be hovc.org, but it's a new design for the website, upgrades. We're going from 110 separate web pages to about 72 separate web pages, easier to navigate, looks better, a little more modern. So that's why we're not routing you to the website or showing you web pages today, because some of that stuff's going to change. And
because one of the things we've realized with the website is there's too many click-throughs
Yeah.
And that I know it can understand get very frustrating. So we're trying to make it more user friendly, more intuitive, so you guys can get to the links that you need to get to efficiently.
You're going to email this page that you're showing now, and the copy of the maybe Quimby will decide. He got tied up in school, otherwise he would have been here with me.
Yeah, we're gonna take this recording, put it on our YouTube channel, send you all the link to that so you can share it with others in your troop and watch it. And we'll also include this flyer with that email. So
Thanks a bunch.
all right. Okay, folks, thank you so much. If you have other questions that you were uncomfortable asking during this meeting, you can reach out to myself or Melissa or Pam anytime and ask those questions. Thank you so much for being here, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Good night.
Night, y'all.
Good night.